Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. Looky what we have here. Adam Hughes. This is going to be fun. So, there's a couple of reasons why I circled back to Adam. One, I really want to look at his work. And two, the video that I did a week or so ago really did phenomenally well. And it's not so much about like sort of going, oh, that got a lot of views, so it's going to build my channel or something like that. But the fact of the matter is you sort of feel out your audience and what they're interested in. And YouTube for me has always been a good indicator of what people come to me for or what they're interested in me talking about. And you see it real clearly with the amount of views that a video gets. And I was actually thrilled that so many people were interested in looking at Adam's work. So to me, that was the success. I love Adam's work. He's just there's so many great things about it. So anyway, we'll get into this in one sec. Let me do some quick updates. So this month I will be launching Blaster Kid. I'm still tremendously busy with the heavy metal comic that I'm doing. So I'm penciling and inking a book for heavy metal, which some people know and some people are becoming more aware of. Has not been announced yet, so I can't talk about what it is specifically. It's a 150 page series. I think it's going to be 5 30-page books that will come out about every 3 months. And so I'm trying to wrap up the first issue so that I can get onto Blaster Kid. My time is going to be incredibly tight for the next year, probably a little over, but I'm determined to be able to manage this. But it's an interesting situation to be in because the heavy metal job, I mean, in a weird way, was literally the first series that I've ever penciled. I've done small penciling things, a short story or whatever, but I've never done a book like that, and it's quite challenging. But what I've tried to explain and Libra Mejo is going to be on this week. Thursday, Libra Mejo will be live with me, and we're actually going to go over his work. And then probably the following week, Lee's going to come back, and we're going to actually look at Phil Hale together. So that will be very exciting. But Lee had asked me when we were texting back and forth about the black drawings, and I kind of explained to him. I said, well, I kind of got bored with the idea of not doing them, but of horror. I just felt like horror was kind of not very unpredictable, and if I can't deliver something interesting with something, then in my opinion, what I like to do is I have a few different things that I want to explore. So anyway, the heavy metal job is a really good opportunity for me to do something that I always wanted to do but never really felt capable of, which is to do something kind of like I just the way that I wanted to do the style going into it was I wanted to see if I could do something that looked like Jack Kirby but in 2020. So not his aesthetic necessarily, but had that kind of feel to it. The story though didn't really jive with that approach because Jack's stuff generally is these big sort of action movie things, and this has kind of two different sort of worlds that it exists in, and so all of a sudden I was like, oh man, and it really forced me to have to draw things that I wouldn't normally have done. So it's interesting because I'm seeing things coming out of my work in that job that like I never ever would have expected to do. But what's cool is Blaster Kid to me is more home. That's my real style. But I like getting pushed and pulled different ways, and ultimately, what I would like to do is be an artist that you can go, man, it's so crazy how he can work in these different styles that are all so different, but they're pretty cool, and people will have favorites, of course. But anyway, enough of the blah blah blah. I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate all of you. Happy New Year, and let's look at some Adam Hughes. All right, so I love Adam's Punisher. He's obviously Adam is very famous for his attractive ladies, but I think he does a great Frank Castle. I love the shape of his head. I love the kind of aesthetic that he gives his face, and I always thought this was a great like little convention sketch. Adam is so good at drawing, and he's so good at constructing things. And even when he's sketching at a show, magic happens all the time. So we're gonna go into full screen mode. I've got a ton of stuff open. This is all from my personal internet collection. The date of the folder I think said 2010. That doesn't necessarily mean that everything was from that year, but I've been saving Adam's JPEGs since I've been online, and so a lot of this stuff is actually from just years of being in like fan groups and stuff like that, and a lot of it will probably be not as contemporary as the last like 5 years. My guess is it's going to be from 2000 to about 2012, which is great stuff. So anyway, but so Adam really kind of brought, I think, Copic markers into vogue. I know that other people had used them, and obviously, if you go back even further, a lot of professional colorists were using Prismacolor pens to do color guides for comics. But Travis doing X-Men Wildcats in the wash, I think, planted the seed for someone like Adam to pursue tonal qualities in his work. I'm not saying that that's the only resource or source of inspiration, but I don't remember Adam ever doing this type of work until after X-Men Wildcats, so I can only speculate on that. But I think that there's some accuracy and truth to it, potentially. This is great. It's always incredible to see his just pencil drawings. They're so well done. They're so like minimalistic but yet dynamic. They're solid. The construction, the proportions are all really, really nice. There's really a lot that you can learn from his work, looking at it in this form. If you can really kind of implant these ideas into your head, you'll be a real solid artist. And that's what you want. You want to have really good construction. He actually is quite brave. It was funny as I was looking through the files before I opened them. He does a decent amount of front views, and again, a lot of these are probably commissioned sketches at shows, but a front view can be tricky, more tricky than you would think. I tell people that. I go, artists, when they're learning, tend to actually make things more difficult on themselves by the things that they draw. It's an interesting thing. We tend to overdraw. We tend to pick shots that are challenging, and it's an interesting thing. And as you get better, you start picking more interesting shots, but sometimes they're actually a little bit easier to draw. It's a weird thing. And then you start to minimalize your detail. It's just an interesting sort of series of events that goes on. You know where to put the good stuff. Oh, and this too. I mean, Adam just owned like vinyl and like spandexy material. I mean, I think he really redefined it. I think that the way that he approached like Laura Croft's costumes on his Tomb Raider covers. We'll see other stuff. I'll try to remember the order that it came out. It was pre-Catwoman, but you think it was the Tomb Raider covers. But I mean, you can see still to this day the impact that had, because really nobody was in comics that I saw was doing like latex the way that Adam ended up sort of translating it into an artistic delivery. It was very interesting to see, but yeah, he brought it. He's really, so this is another thing with Adam. He's really actually quite good with like caricatures, and it was interesting as I mentioned in the other video that I shared an office with him for about a year, and he had brought sketchbooks. But he's real good at drawing like Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and stuff like that. And he may use reference, but it is pretty interesting to watch him. I think honestly, he could probably draw some of these characters out of his head, and get the likeness quite good. Harrison Ford in particular, I think he's got down. It's like would be no different than him drawing Wolverine or something like that. He knows the proportions, he knows the distances and size relationships that all this stuff has that makes Harrison look like Harrison, and that's what a likeness is. That's what makes your face look different than your brother or sister or parents or neighbor. It's just all size relationships. So this is great. He's awesome with clothes. Again, he keeps it so simple. Oops, sorry. Is this? Let me brush. Just like a little area like that. It's just so on point. And I always tell my students, pick three folds. It's a good rule of thumb. Twos and threes tend to work. If you find yourself in an area overworking it with more than three or four folds, you're probably, unless you really know what you're doing, you're gonna dig yourself a hole. I would say that, like, if you understand how to draw folds, then go for it. Put 1,000. But if not, try to pick two or three. You'll see if it drifts and goes a direction that it shouldn't. That's the thing, is it's like, if you put a fold like this, you could look at it and go, okay, well, that can't be where a fold would go. Then you might, you can kind of plug it in easier, problem solve it. He's great with facial expressions. He's great with uh he does really phenomenal eyes. It's funny because he would do little studies. We'll see some study pieces in here. It's a pretty interesting grab bag of things. Again, I was a member of like his Yahoo group, and maybe an MSN one before that. I don't remember the order. Maybe went Yahoo and then MSN. But I mean, I would save everything that would get shared. So that's what I'm sharing with you today. Some of the stuff may not be online anymore. Some may. We'll see. But anyway, it should be fun. This is really good. He's very funny too. Adam's a real smart guy. He's very, very intelligent. He's a good observer of things, and he's incredibly funny and witty. So yeah, he really injects that into these pieces. I think at a level that some people aspire to but don't really get. Like, the humor isn't is accurately done. This is nice. It's interesting. So it's Lara Croft, and then I don't know. Is that like some Star Wars character? It looks like somebody inked this. Maybe like a fan. McLeod? I can't read what it says. This almost reminds me of like Princess Leia, but it doesn't really look like her. Someone will know who it is. I'm not very good with characters. I don't claim to be, though, either. But yeah, it's interesting. One thing you might want to kind of keep your eye on is how he indicates the knees, because you'll see him throw in sort of a shape there to just give himself the amount of space that he needs. He's real good with shoulders, and he works at this stuff. That's the thing, is you'll see pages, if we get to the more true sketchbook stuff, how much he'll work poses and try them in different angles and stuff like that to see and just get a feel for it. And then once you've done that enough, it really is actually quite liberating, because you'll have certain poses down, and then you'll see maybe like a pose that's a little more extreme than the one that you do, and it's quite easy then at that point to go, oh, okay, if I pull the shoulder back a little bit more, the other shoulder blade comes around or whatever, and that's how you start to expand what you're capable of doing. These are nice too. Again, really, really beautiful folds up here. It's nice. I saw something online, like, is Darth Maul back? Is that accurate? I don't really follow too much pop culture news, but I did get an idea that potentially Darth Maul is back. I was very shocked that they killed him, to be honest. I was like, this guy's going to be the new Darth Vader. He's going to be around for a while. It's a crazy knee. I don't know if I would have done that line, like, right there. But it doesn't bother me in the piece. But yeah, it's interesting. She's like, he's real good with breasts too, but you'll see he does uh quite like I think sometimes you think of comic boobs, people draw them very round, but you'll see Adam, he really has them sit on the, there, it's more like a bag of jelly that's sort of moving out like that, and you see that shape, then completely round, and he's real good at them. He's studied breasts. These are tighter. These are like more like comic boobs that you would see. But even this one, it's being pulled by the fabric, so it's actually coming out like that more. It's a nice little subtlety. But here again, you can see the knees, like how he does this. He gives them a lot of room, and he generally will pull this down. So it's nice. The hands. He's really good with hands. It was funny as I was looking at some of his older sequential work, like some of the early stuff, and he's always drawn really, really good hands. He never seems to phone it in too much. Sometimes they're very suggestive, and they can get a little, where it's kind of more of a suggestion of things. Depends on how far he wants to take it. And he'll a lot of times not connect like lines, or lines will bleed together. But he clearly understands hands quite well. This is oldie. Is this Adam? Yeah. Adam Hughes and Carl Story. So this is JLA. Okay, yeah. The JLA was the stuff that I was looking at, too. It's funny. Or is this Justice League International or Justice League of America? This is way before I was collecting comics, but it's cool stuff. I went back and picked up most of them that I could find. This is cool. His women are pretty chunky, like the aesthetic that I initially saw in comics was very lean, kind of somewhere between Mark Silvestri and J. Scott Campbell females, where they're pretty thin and lanky. Adam tends to make them a little bit more substantial. They got some meat on their bones. They look like they're like the wind isn't gonna blow and knock them over. It's a beautiful cape. Really good. Sorry, there's gonna be some sirens coming up the street. This video is so hot. They called the firehouse. It's nice. Yeah, Adam is really, really good. Oh, it stopped close by. This is nice. It's really, really good. Cool upshot with that, and he's got these, really sitting on top of the world. But you can kind of, do you feel that shape? He gives them, they're affected by gravity. That's essentially what's going on. And the material that's holding them in. Sometimes barely. There's a Harrison Ford. This is an older piece, though. This is from a while ago. I can tell just by looking at it, because the sketchbooks that I had, the faces were actually even better than that. This could be from a show. It's possible someone got a Harrison Ford commission. Still pretty nice. What happened is this is a little big. That'll help it a little. It's a little closer. See, it's kind of elongated there. I was kind of laughing when I do it, because it's like I could see some people being like, "What the fuck? You what tells Mobius that the arm is too long?" I'm just showing you what I see. I'm not saying I can do it better, but I'm just like, if I see something that looks a little different, I can just play with it for a second and try to learn something from it. I always like this piece. It's funny. It's a very simple drawing, but it really stood out to me. And it's interesting too. In his sketchbooks, he would do this. He's like a big fan of like toon art, maybe Bruce Timm or something like that. So at times, occasionally, he will actually take his structure and make it very, very cartoony. Where it's almost like a caricature of his own style, but it's actually quite cool. So I'm saying, like a lot of artists, we have a few things in us, This is cool. I like the way that he lights facial features on girls, he gives them a real kind of smoky sort of quality to their face. This is a very low res scan, but yeah, the way that he draws the lips and teeth and stuff like that, it's always real nice. But again, I mean, you see there's like three indications of folds there. It's just one of those things. The hair, what do you see? Like 3 chunks. What do you see up here? 3 chunks. You're like, oh my god, what is going on, Rich? Oh, and what's Super Fun Sunday going to be? It's going to be super fun. Jar Jar. Jar Jar. His pouches are nice, actually. The feet are good, too. This is cool, like him holding the spear, just kind of taking it all in. It's nice, dude. You can learn so much from looking at Adam because it's so clear. This is a like a commission with multiple artists on it. So it's Adam Hughes, Joe Phillips, Brian Stelfreeze, Dave Johnson, Tony Harris. So it's actually the Gaijin and John Dell. And I don't recognize that signature right there. What did Jim Lee say? Always sign your name clearly. This person, it's a little abstract. It's difficult. If you recognize the symbol, though, you would know. But maybe that's no. I don't know who that is. Maybe Jason Martin. I don't know. Do you mind? This is pretty cool. He really pulls her boob up quite far, but it's because she's wearing like a top that's pushing everything up. So the flesh of the breast is being. But again, it just goes to a very very cartoony feel. You know, it's the stretch and squish. If you've ever looked at the Disney animation books, they have this series of drawings that they did with a sack of flour, and you kind of are supposed to animate a sack of flour that sort of looks like this. He's like a little guy, and you can move him around and pull, pull it and have him dancing around and jumping and doing little things like that. But it teaches you how to, you know, animate something that isn't inanimate. Stretch and squish. I had these books as a kid. Jack Ham, and then Walter. I can't think of what it's called. They're cartooning books, but anyway. But one of them had a series of it was a crocodile dancing, and he's very animated, and it was probably based on real ballet moves. But you know, I mean, it's things like where you're balancing, you know, crocodile's head or whatever, you know. So, but those are good things to have in your Rolodex of awesome. And then you apply it to things like a static drawing like this, but he's still got a real nice. You see this fun shape that he does. Or I always tend to do it backwards. I guess you could do it like that. But you know, there's a flow to it. So get your flow into your work. That's why I always say like this straight on. It's tough, man. You can make it dynamic. You know, put the legs out or do different stuff. Drop the head a little bit and kind of give it some tude. But I don't know. I remember watching Phil Noto earlier in his career. He did for a long time though, but man, he really was like stuck on front views. I think once he broke away from that, his work to me got more interesting. But he did so many covers that were just like straight on shots. I was like, wow. Really interesting. This is really nicely done. The foreshortening is great on this, and it's kind of cool too because her ass is sunk into this chair, so you know we're eye level is like right about here, but it's kind of cool because she's actually sinking into the chair. So there's a lot of like little drawing challenges going on in here. It's really really nicely done, and it's an upshot on top of it of her face. So this is a tricky one. This thing could go horribly wrong quite easily. He really is good with fabric. It was funny is in his sketchbooks that he had brought to Wildstorm, he would do a lot of studies of Ghost, and one of them you could see it was probably done when he was working on Ghost or figuring things out. But he would do a lot of these sort of drapery type things just to get the feel of it. And you know, this is like they kind of you pin it, pin the fabric and see how it falls kind of deal. But yeah, he kind of used that idea and then put it in a piece. Quite clever. It's really, really good drawing. It's a kick-ass one. Elric, very cartoony Elric. It's super cool. And again, beautiful hand. Love that. That's really, really cool. Super cartoony. It's got kind of like a Maleficent kind of vibe to me. Well, the whole design actually is kind of, look, that's actually pretty awesome. I don't know if this will rotate, will it? I don't know. It's kind of like the Danzig skull. Which is from, I think, a Michael Golden comic, if I'm not mistaken. I think that the Misfits... No, wait, is it? No, the Danzig skull is from, I think, a Michael Golden comic. I could be wrong on the artist. Maybe it's Chaikin. Someone, but yeah, Danzig actually kind of bit that from someone. Not the Misfit skull, though. The Misfit skull is from something else. This is cool. This looks like older stuff. You'll see his signature kind of evolves. He used to sign it Adam T. Hughes, like James T. Kirk. And then he got the awe signature going. But this to me looks like older. And oh, this is such a great piece. Fuck. I think I know the person that owns this. I could be wrong on that, but I kind of think I do. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece. This is really, really when Adam, in my opinion, he was already great, but he had this like rejuvenation of just awesomeness that came into his work kind of right when he was working on X-Men Wildcats. I think that something happened, and like the cool factor in Adam's work went up a lot. I talked about that a little bit in the other video, but this is just great. Fuck, man. Oh my god, it's so freaking cool. The girls are so cute. The poses are awesome. This jet bike thing is just killer. Oh my gosh, look at this little touch. The heat blurring the engines, so clever. This is all win, man. Oh gosh, I could look at this all day, but I shan't. But you must. I shan't. He's got a little bit of his Kevin Nolan rendering in there. Oh, this is good. It's interesting. Adam and I actually, we have a lot of, I think, similar favorite artists. I know he's a big Mignola fan. Dave Stevens. I mean, he's got a lot of like Rockwell, Leyendecker, and stuff like that. There's tons. But this is Dirty Pair, who's the Adam Bourne variant cover. I actually have this comic. And Adam really is great at coloring too. He learned, well, I'm not going to say that he completely learned to color at Wildstorm, but Ben DeMaglevu and I think Alex Sinclair kind of helped him sort of get and probably Laura Martin got to, oh, here it is. Cool. Yeah, he did some really, really fun stuff with like the holographic thing. It's not a big enough scan to really zoom in too much on it, but oh, and so this looks like it was colored by someone. What does that say? I can't read the signature, darn it. Oh, maybe that's Laura Martin. I don't know. Let me know if you know who colored this one. I mean, obviously, if I had a better scan of the comic, I'd be able to see it. It looks like it says Jason Martin, but I thought Adam inked it himself. Let me do something really fast. Oh, wait. I can grab this again. I want to look at the black and white art just really fast. Just let me do this so I can sleep at night. Oh, here. Here it is. All right. Okay, so Jason Martin inked this. He did a great job. I didn't realize that Jason inked this. Okay, so this is probably Adam's colors. Okay. Wow, that's surprising. Because there was a point where Adam started inking all of his own work. But yeah, Jason did a great job. Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know. It looked like it said J. Martin. I just wasn't 100% positive on it. This sometimes... Okay, so this is a blue line inked by someone. This was originally a pencil drawing. So, anyway, cool piece. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Deja Thoris. Apparently, she's not supposed to have a belly button. I didn't know that until I knew it. It's like, why she got a belly button, you moron? You're like, don't. It's cool. These are pretty stylized hands, but they're quite nice. She's got big hands, though. I will say that. Like, they're fairly substantial. And again, you can see his breast shape is that again, you know. And you can feel how the nipple would sit on it like that. It's kind of pulling up a little bit. You see it here. It's good stuff to know. If you draw them too round, it'll look kind of weird. He actually twisted the chain too. I appreciate that. I sometimes am not. When people just do like, it's like, come on, twist it a little bit, twist it just a little bit. All right, let's get back into full screen mode. It's funny that he signed some of these pieces with a red Sharpie. I wouldn't recommend that. The alcohol in that marker will be problematic down the road. I'm friends of a guy who's like a fine art gallery owner, and yeah, essentially what it will do is like alcohol-based markers. I don't know if Copic will have this problem. Is they eventually bleed. So what's going to happen is, he said that they just kind of keeps spreading. It may not, the red may not, but it'll eventually create maybe like a little bit of an area that's a little sort of funky. We'll see. I don't know how long it would take to do that, but oh, you know what it was? It was those silver and gold signing pens. You want to be careful of those on stuff. So maybe the Sharpie wouldn't be so bad. I always like this piece too, and this is again a nod to Adam's cartoony style, but definitely partially inspired by like a Kevin Nolan kind of thing. And this is great. Her suit is just awesome. My guess is that he did it all in black and then went in, not only did the folds but the pinstriping on it, but it looks great. Her hair, I was like how he does hair. I think it looks real nice. This is great. A little bit of garter belt showing here, and her bra too is a little frilly. It's really good. Good stuff. Man, he's so awesome. This is a nice hand. It's those are tough poses for hands. Because he's got, it's kind of going back away from us, so you've got the finger coming in like that, and then the thumb comes off there, but, and then the wrist is coming up like that. This is a little bit of the top plane-ish. But yeah, the hand is really kind of turned towards us, and this one's tricky too because it's good stuff. Really good. There we go. Black Widow. It's got big feet. Like the way that he lights the guns too. It's pretty direct. Works good. This is nice. Liberty Meadows. Yeah, he does her. She looks pretty. It's interesting too, is you'll notice that Adam will close the lower lid. Some people will leave it open. I mean, he does sometimes, but you know, it's not uncommon to see this with artists. But Adam will put it in. Nice neck. It's good. It's like, it's interesting because she feels like she's almost in a front view. Like this is front view. Oops, I'm like not in a color anymore. This feels like a front view, and as it goes back, like the perspective is changing a bit. And with her head slightly looking up, it, you know, even gives a little bit more of that feel. But it's, I'm covering up the face with my hand. If you don't see the head, it looks like pretty much a straight on shot. Oh, haha, this is an oldie. This is what the internet looked like when it first got rolling, friends. You'd get like 480 pixel high like scans of art at 72 DPI. Now you've got people going like, I need high res. It's like, when I was a kid, if you got 800 pixel height, 600 pixel wide images that weren't bitmaps, You were lucky. Oh, this is good. Oh my gosh. Her face is so cool. Damn. Wow, that's really, really cool. Oh, he's so good. Crime totally sucks. That's awesome. He used to do these pieces at shows for I think $150, believe it or not. And then Flippers ruined it for everyone. But yeah, he had very, very fairly priced commission sketches of this quality too. Can you imagine? This thing would cost a small fortune now. It's really, really nice. It's just so direct, you know. He didn't render the shit out of things. There's a little bit of feathering on her tummy, but I mean, it's not like the spandex and stuff like that is all pretty, you know, simply lit. But oh, it's so good. Her face and the hair is awesome. Yeah, it's cool. I'll check out her face a little bit more real quick. Look at that. Looking at this right now. Let me grab this close. Yeah, I was checking out this really fast, but let me see. Yeah, her face is really cute. I love the way he did her eyes, like the actual pupil. Man, so good. See, it's like, hey, I did a super fun Sunday, and I gotta study. So I never have time to do it on my own. I just don't. No free time. Speaking of free time, I still have not talked to Kelsey. If I don't hear from him by Tuesday, I'm gonna assume that he's not gonna do Super Kelsey Rich Wednesday again. So I don't know. I don't know where he is. He never mentioned that he would be dropping off the internet for weeks at a time. But we've got Lee on Thursday. Like I said, Lee Bermejo is going to be live Thursday. We're going to go over his work. It should be really interesting. I'm curious to ask him about his process of learning and, you know, where it started to get doable for him and whatnot. Because he took on a pretty complex approach to drawing. There's a lot of value in his pieces. And, you know, he was a big Adam Hughes fan. I remember when he was drawing like the Resident Evil comics and stuff like that. Adam Hughes, Kevin Nolan were definitely big influences. Michael Lopez. We'll get into all that. This is nice. This looks like an oldie. Again, this is kind of a nod to the Kevin Nolan thing. This guy in particular looks a little bit like a Nolan doctor that you might see in one of his comics. But this is pretty cool. It's a very lively silhouette that she has. Just like, you know, really quite a roller coaster ride around her in terms of the bumps and bruises. And then this is a really nice, remember we were talking about like the bag of flour, but you see her thigh sitting on this is spreading, you know, because it's planted. So he's put a little bit of meat on her bones where, you know, some people might draw it more tight like that, but he lets it fan out. And this is a kind of classic Adam thing, is the bleeding into things. Connecting objects tend to disintegrate. Cool little touch. Blank Noir was a creator-owned line that the Gaijin guys were doing. Oh, this is good. Yeah, it's interesting. Good stuff. Her hair's cool. Her face is great too. Man, smile is something. Yep, Adam is great. Well, I think people will really enjoy this. Oh, I love these pieces. I forgot about these. So this was 1999. So I was saving this stuff a long time ago. But again, I'm not kidding when I say that this was about the size of scans that you would get at that time. So I mean, this is like full, like the full size. It's tiny, man. If I take my fingers to the computer screen, it's literally like 3 inches big. But it was rare to get anything too much bigger. And again, Jason Martin inks on this. He did a real nice job. Here's the pencils of that piece that we saw before. Oh yeah, these are prelims for a Wonder Woman cover. We saw this in the other video. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, there you are. I almost started without you. A little bit of the Kevin Nolan lighting on the hand. I'm just going to attribute it to Kevin Nolan. And again, he's got that sort of melty connecting parts there. Oh, yeah, I remember this. I think this was in Fables. Really, really nicely done. This is Adam's inks, I'm nearly sure. Man, it's so good. And again, this is a little bit Kevin Nolan. And this too, in a funny way. Beautiful, beautiful design on this page. Just gorgeous. Oh man, it's so good. Damn, fuck, he's so good. Okay, so was the Dreaming. So this is Sandman then. My apologies. My apologies. Yeah, this is nice. Good stuff. He has such lush blacks. The way that he puts it in and the feathering and stuff like that, it just always looks so good. You could really, and again, you can see the heavy lashes around the eyes. And even in fact, like on this one, he did the eyelid has got like a nice shadow on it. Very realistic breasts on her. Great piece. Oh yeah, so this is, he did a series of these back then. I remember these. There was like 5 or 6 of these little like spot illustrations with Santa. They're really, really beautifully done. I mean, the folds and stuff like that on Santa there are very, very cool. These might have been for like PlayStation Magazine or something. I'm trying to remember. What does it say on her shirt? I can't read it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this was when he started to take vinyl, in my opinion, to like a new level that we hadn't really seen exactly done this way in comics. And I mean, you see it now with the digital. Like Jorge Jimenez definitely, whether he knows it or not, is emulating some of this look. I would assume Jorge is probably an Adam Hughes fan though, but yeah, he does it with his digital stuff. It's really, really cool. Even the lighting on her glasses is great. I wish this was a higher res piece, but yeah. And again, just beautiful black areas on the hair. This is really good. Her hand is a little suspect. It's not bad, but it looks a little. I think it's the thumb. I don't know. It's not a big deal, but it seems to be all there. You know what it is I think it's I don't know, something about the knuckles. I think it almost feels like it would come off a little bit more. Oh, and then her hand is on the trigger. Okay. It's tough stuff to draw. I'll tell you what, man, like drawing pages like I've been, my god, I have to do so much different stuff. It's like you struggle with it at first, but you get so used to having to draw things that you wouldn't normally do. Yeah, I think that this stuff was for PlayStation Magazine, because that's Jill Valentine from Resident Evil, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, these are cool. God, his Santa is great, and the way that he did the fabric on his coat is just so great, and the lighting on the belt too is just killer. Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, here's another one. Yeah, it's a chocobo, and is that Tifa? I can't remember her name. It's been a while since I played Final Fantasy. God, the belt, man, that's some cool shit. Oh, it's so good. Adam, you rock. So these are some of the older sketchbook stuff. This looks like it was done on Bristol. So this is on the Blanc Noir paper. Blanc Noir. But this is a good example of how Adam, quote unquote grinds. So he'll fill pages of sketchbooks with things like this, and if you, it's a little hard to see here, but this is a pose of, it looks to me like she's leaning back, and this is like her head. I mean, you can maybe have the arm there, or that's a little blown out, but it looks to me like he's heading that direction with it. But then on this, it's you know, a standing pose. But he'll work through poses and ideas that way, and fill quite a bit. You can see here him working on the stance here. He's got this one, and this one is a little bit more less, and you know what I mean, you can kind of play with it and get a feel for it. It's interesting, and I would assume, I don't know this for a fact, but I think when he gets something that he likes and it's this fully refined, then this is what he'll blow up to size if he needs to, and then light box that onto the board. But I could be wrong. I'm not saying that that is exactly how he works. This is an older piece, clearly. That's funny. It's like Wrightson with no detail, and then early Adam Hughes. This is old too. You can see the old signature too. But you know, look, I mean, I think in a way this should be encouraging to people. Still, though, the hands are not bad though. I mean, you can see what he was. He clearly had worked on anatomy. It's like structure is there. It's just a little. It's, you know, a little disproportionate, and you know, that's how you learn. But I had said this in a recent video that as a fan of Adams, I enjoy seeing this stuff. I'm sure for him it would be like, oh god, like wish that piece would like never exist in any any JPEG form ever. But it's just the way that it goes. But you know, it at least humanizes these guys and girls that are such incredible artists when you can see some early work and go, oh, okay, like they had to figure some of this stuff out. They didn't always draw at like hyperbolic level. This is cool. I like how he knocked out her body. That's pretty interesting. I'm assuming, is this a Wonder Woman cover? I don't remember it. Oh, maybe it's Rose and Thorn. So that would make sense with the cut. Oh wow. That is a crazy looking villain. I don't even know what that is. Well, it's Wonder. Well, I'm assuming this is Wonder Woman, but oh yes, it's nice. Yeah, he got real good with coloring. Simple, and there's that really nice, beautiful Kevin Nolan like lighting on stuff. So good. Okay, I gotta watch the clock. What time is it? Let me peek real quick while we're looking at this. Oh, okay, yeah, I gotta go. It went over. It's funny, I'm so used to doing the long live streams that I lose track of time with these. But all right, we'll do two more, and then I'm gonna call it a day. So hopefully everyone has a great day. Look, you know, you can probably look around and find a ton of this stuff online. Some of it maybe not, but you've always got the video that you can return to check out the images. And the folder that I had over 1,000 images in it. It was crazy, and it's not even my deep cut stuff. This was a more recent hard drive. I sometimes will double back up stuff though, so it's a combination of things. But it's funny. This has got a little bit of the Pearson vibe up here, just a tiny bit. Wow, this is way older. It's funny. Superman actually is pretty good though. That's not bad. This is nice too. But yeah, he would just you'll see pages and pages of this stuff. So, you know, always work on your drawings. And if anything, what I remember when I first became aware that he would do stuff like this, you know, I was just learning, so I couldn't ever draw stuff of this thing. But I fill sketchbook pages even more than this. I mean, I literally fill every square inch. But my drawings weren't that good. Now they're getting better, so it's like it's fun to see the evolution, you know. But I never really have seen him draw bad. It's kind of like J. Scott Campbell. you can see real old stuff of Jeff, and it's like he always kind of could draw pretty good. So this is a prelim, pretty cool. That's funny. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. We'll end with one just knockout punch. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's an oldie. 92. I wasn't even collecting comics then. I remember this piece. Poison Ivy. She's got a tiny butt. That's pretty cool. Oh, this was... He would do the, like, Prismacolor pencil on things, too, way back. I remember that. Yeah, we'll end it on this. This is cool. It's a little bit mappy. But, man, these are nice. His Tomb Raider covers were great. So, all right, have a great day. I hope everyone has a happy new year. And, yeah, I'll be back Wednesday with the Kelsey and Rich show live. And we'll see if Kelsey shows up. And then Thursday, we've got Lee Bermejo. So, it should be a fun week. All right? If you're a patron, thank you so much for being a patron. I will definitely have videos this month for all of y'all's. So get your questions ready for the question and answer at the end of the month. Those have been fun to do. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.